So those three web series really are some of the original web series ever on the internet. And they're important to watch because they really are a big shift in the way that storytelling was founded on the internet and spaces. Chad Vader is great because Chad Vader is Darth Vader's lowly cousin who somehow is wearing the exact same costume as Darth Vader, who has personality and self-esteem issues. The second one, The Guild, is about Felicia Day. It's almost like an autobiography. Her book, You're Never Weird on the Internet, almost, actually explains the history of the Guild. And she was addicted to World of Warcraft at the time, and she had her own guild, and in her fictional version of it, the Guild, who had never met in real life, ends up meeting in real life. And so that's what the whole series is about. And you can tell this is very much of a subculture. For those who didn't play World of Warcraft, the show didn't make much sense. But for those of you who knew gaming or knew about the style of it, you can understand what this storyline is, and you can understand the awkward nature of meeting a guild in real life. But more than any other, I want you to focus on We Need Girlfriends. And it's important. You'll find the link in the assignment. We Need Girlfriends really introduced the concept of a terminology that we use to this day. And you'll hear it, but you wouldn't understand that it came from this. In 2008, Stephanie Rosenbluth of the New York Times wrote about this, the article, and it's called The Beta Male's Charms. And it's important you understand that because you might hear that term, beta, now. But this is really the foundation of beta people. And beta people are the opposite of alpha people. The alpha people are the people like in Entourage, the people who you see being followed around by famous things and doing the cool life things. Beta people are just, well, everybody. They're people you see anywhere at any time. The people that no one will really want to hear the story of because they're just, well, people. They don't really have any excitement. Now, mind you, reality TV had introduced this concept a little over 10 years before YouTube did. But they still had it produced. Reality television is highly produced. Producers create those storylines. But on YouTube, the creator, the author, really does create the storyline from front to back. Chad Vader may not be fully autobiographical because there is no Chad Vader, but the writers probably based it on incidents of their own life. The Guild is definitely autobiographical, and We Need Girlfriends is as well. What it is these stories, these common stories, these things that would happen all the time, things that would turn out banal, end up becoming actually very attractive to those who can't find this type of media in the traditional landscape. You can't turn on a TV and at the time and find something like We Need Girlfriends because advertisers wouldn't pay for that. Advertisers aren't going to pay for a show where the guys aren't the winners. If you're going to reach a general audience, you're going to have to reach the most amount of people possible. That's what advertisers look for. We Need Girlfriends, The Guild, and Chad Vader aren't looking for general audiences. They're looking for audiences that get it, that understand the media that they're looking at. And that's something that I want you to understand. Very important, because as we go forward into our present, which we're going to talk about in the next module, you're going to see that that has commodified, that has shifted, that has been bastardized, that has become corrupted by the way that systems work over the course of just a single decade. But at the time, this was really a thing where people can put their output out into the world in a fictional manner in the shape and form of television. As you noticed in We Need Girlfriends, it has that traditional opening sequence. It has shots that are traditional. It has style. It has everything that you can imagine that a TV show would look like. The setup, the pacing, and everything. But it's made for a very specific and small audience. And if you notice, those episodes don't even have that many views. But here's what's amazing. Darren Star, who you may know from the show Sex and the City, purchased that show or helped move that show to CBS. It was one of the first lifts from web television to major TV. Today we see that consistently. Web series are actual indoor way of getting onto television. And you can see this with Issa Rae's work that just recently moved from web series to television. YouTube just recently came out and said, you know, this show would have actually done better on YouTube Red. Well, a decade too late, guys, because they never realized it. So at this time, YouTube was being commodified as well. At around the time of We Need Girlfriend's second or third episode, Google purchases YouTube for $1.65 billion. Today, beans, but at the time, big, especially since YouTube was in debt by about $700 million because they were being sued by Viacom, which they lost. And that's another story. We'll get back to it another time. Viacom lost, YouTube won. But these types of things, the corporatization of YouTube, was a big shift. And I'll explain that in a second, because aside from web series and using it as alternate media distribution outlets, the other type of media distribution that you're about to see is that introduction to identity performance in digital spaces, which is also your homework. And those are called video blogs or vlogs. And vlogs were basically video diaries until people realized it isn't about being a diary, it's about being a character. It's about performing a certain type of you into that space, creating an authentic version of yourself that is supposed to be distributed to people that get along with your own ideas. So I want to take a really quick break to show you a couple vlogs, OG vlogs, from the early days of YouTube, and I want you to take a look at them. Now, on these, I want you to watch all of the episode Raindrops by Tyler Oakley, the whole thing, but you only need to watch the beginnings of Geriatric 1927, but it's only like a few minutes, so you may as well watch it, and the Lonely Girl 15 episode. I just want you to take a look at these. So please watch these now.